So why would I want to buy one of these, Mr. Radio Shack Manager?
Why would you want to buy one? Because now everybody's a KO Cooler vigilante.
So I gave this Lemon Verbena plant to my friend John a while back, but I think along with the soil batch that was in with the worm bins, where I put way too much alfalfa meal and probably a little bit too much guano in as well, this was a similar soil mix in that run, and I think that's part of why this plant's health is crashing. Also, you know, this is really a tropical shrub bush, basically. But he does have good light in his place, and I feel like it's more the soil has crashed. The soil stayed wet since the plant crashed. So what I'm going to do, and I will point out briefly here, there are new shoots popping on this plant. So it is in the process of recovering. But I see how wet this soil really is and how heavy and dense this is, and it's too wet, it's too heavy. And the other thing I saw in here the other day, I don't see them at the moment, but that doesn't mean that they're not here, is fungus gnats. And fungus gnats are an indicator of soil that is way too wet as well. And you definitely don't want that. So what I'm going to do is pop this out of here, and I'm gonna mix up, well, I have some mixed up soil. Actually, I'm gonna pop one of these pre-mixed soils that's been mixed up for about 10 days out of one of these crates, and possibly some of this, and I might put some of this in there. This is same stuff but more recently mixed and a little bit stronger. I might stick a little bit of that in the bottom for a later on effect. And then I'll probably fill the rest in with some of this and some of this, which is more like a seed-in mix, a little bit lighter. But just to give an idea how we're going to correct this plant. And then we'll put it in here in the lab for, I don't know, I would think in a week we should see explosive response. Like this one now, which about a week ago didn't have any leaves on it at all. So, shan't be long. So this batch out of this stack, technically not finished cooking, so to speak, until December 5th. It's currently December 1st, so it's a few days early, but you can see we have mycorrhizal fungi in here. Soil temperature is not high. So I will use some of this as the basis for the main mix to go around the plant. I'll use some of this hot stuff, just a couple inches probably on the bottom as a base layer for as the new roots expand, they'll have something to grow into with a little more nutrient. And then I'll fill directly close around the plant's roots with this probably. That's the idea at least. But let's get this out on a tarp and have a look-see at the root system before we make any decisions. So what we got here? Well, we do have a pretty filled out root system on that side. This side, not so much. We see a little bit of, that's a little bit of alfalfa meal right there. And these roots are a little on the brownish side. So I think what we're going to do is break out of this soil. We'll break right out of this soil. And we'll get into some nicer stuff. Get this plant some aeration to the roots rather than let it starve any longer like that. And we may do a little bit of root damage in the process of this. But that's okay because we're also going to do a prune on top, which will help stimulate more root growth by tipping the balance back. I'll talk a little more about that in a sec. So you can understand how I'm doing this and trying to do as little damage as possible to the main plant and root ball. I'm kind of reaching my fingers in and kind of working between the roots to try to kind of shake out some of the old soil. And we're not going to get all of the soil out. It's okay that we're not going to get all the soil out. We just want to get back to the main root ball. And you can see the difference in the soil color there, where it just didn't really take to that new soil mix. So, my bad. Sorry, John. We'll get her straight, I promise. So, now we're back to a root ball we can work with that's not drowning and not in a nutrient imbalance, which is going to hold it out. Now we can go into some nice Kiss organic soil. So, let's start with let's say, yeah, 2.5 scoops, I'd say, on the bottom of that. Right? That's good. Give it a good mix. Sorry for the horrible camera work. Not used to holding the phone camera. Right? And then we'll take a little bit of this, throw it down as a buffer. Just a little bit of a buffer layer there. And then we'll go to some of this cooked stuff. And we'll throw a scoop of that down. See how the mycelium web is on that already. And you notice I'm kind of gently scooping this, not breaking that mycelial web by like powdering or fluffing the soil, just kind of draping it in there, so to speak. Alright, now we're built up to where we can put a plant in without worrying too badly about burning it. And we can give its roots a little space to run from. And then we'll fill it back in with the rest. And some more of this, which we will have to feather a little bit more just to make sure we fill around the roots nicely. Like, there we go. Yeah. There you go. And that soil is pretty moist, so I think I will wait on the watering. But there you go. And then I'll put this soil over to the rest, with the rest of the recycled soil to rest for the winter. Probably amend it with a little bit of Kiss. Cool. So, I'll do an update on this, as soon as it comes up. Oh, almost forgot. Because we want to stimulate some new root growth and help the plant grow back out, we're going to do a little bit of pruning on some old growth here. I know this seems like a really harsh haircut, but you notice I am leaving some bud sites there down here. And mine actually, when it sprouted back, it came out of the base first. I could have actually trimmed that whole thing off. Of course I didn't want to take all that energy from the plant, but you get the idea. So for now we'll leave it like that. I will probably prune off. Oh, that's a dead one. We'll see. We'll see. I'll probably prune it and clean it up as it sprouts off new growth. And then it'll be ready to go back to John. But I'll do an update. Cheers.
Yeah, so improvised quick clip update kind of thing. I promised I would talk about the cytokine-auxin balance thing. And here is an excellent example of a lemon verbena plant, my big one that you saw earlier in the video that was just recovering. And now you see it about a month later, it's just robust. And I'll tell you what, you shake this plant and the whole house smells of lemon nearly immediately. Very happy, healthy plant.
So here we are in the lab. Luca has been in here. That's what John calls his plant. Luca is the name. Luca's been in here for about 10 or 12 days under my care. She's at full resprout speed capacity, throwing shoots out everywhere, even up top. And I'm going to take her back to John today because it's 60 degrees out and she's ready to go. So nice easy transfer. We don't have to do any special temperature protection to transfer her back to John. Him. I guess Luca's a him. My bad. Transfer him back to John.